maybe it is a good thing that most people get their news from television, actually from the late night comics. But I think that these low-level soldiers feel like they had some kind of permission that comes from growing up here at home with a media landscape where the average soundbite is something like 8 or 9 seconds. What can you say in that amount of time? You can say Saddam Hussein is like Hitler, and you are ready for prime time. Everyone knows what you're talking about. You repeat the establishment consensus. But if you have something else to say, perhaps that U.S. officials may be guilty of war crimes. Actually, I could say that in less than 8 seconds. But you sound a little crazy. Like, what are you talking about? If no one else is saying it, you have to explain yourself. What are war crimes? What are the Geneva Conventions? What are the Nuremberg Principles? But for that, you don't have time. They say it's not a political edit, you're just not quite there yet. You know, as they say, never lost, and we drive in a lot of rented cars. You just haven't arrived. Well, we need a media that allows people to express themselves. When you have an administration that demonizes whole populations, and people can't speak for themselves to counter this, you know, to say why they believe what they do, what their religion is, what communities they come from. Most importantly, the differences between them. There are debates in every community. Think of your own family, let alone communities. And that's the most important thing that breaks down stereotypes, is people debating and just hearing someone's voice. And you can say, it reminds me of my Uncle John, I can't stand him, or sounds like Aunt Ethel. You identify when you hear someone speaking. And when you can't hear that, and you only hear a media that acts as a megaphone for those in power, and they are demonizing, what is to stop someone from treating someone else as subhuman? The media humanizes. I think of Pacifica in the 1950s, people like Paul Robeson. There's no one like Paul Robeson, but the great actor, singer, activist, scholar, whitelisted from almost every public space in this country, but a few black churches knew he could be heard over the airwaves of KPFA in Berkeley. Or James Baldwin debating Malcolm X over the effectiveness of nonviolent civil disobedience broadcast over the airwaves of WBAI. The Pacifica Radio Archives has the largest collection of recordings of the great civil rights leader Fannie Lou Hamer anywhere in the world. We need to know the history. It is so important. We're coming up on the 60th anniversary of the dropping of the atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. As we travel around the country, people are organizing everywhere. We're recently in Omaha and Lincoln, Nebraska. Lincoln, another radio station, just picked us up. In Omaha, there was a big, red state, a big peace and justice expo. We don't get this in the media. Hundreds of people came out. They were preparing a 3-day protest at STRATCOM, Strategic Command, to speak out there. Of course, at Los Alamos, where the bomb was made, if you can say born, there are major events planned there. And now we're speaking here during the time of the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty review that's taking place at the United Nations. And we just had on Democracy Now! The other day the mayor of Hiroshima calling for the abolition of nuclear weapons by 2020. I didn't see him in the mainstream and the corporate media, but let's not forget that media is ours as well. But let's go back to that time. David and I have a chapter in the book called Hiroshima Cover-Up. We compare 2 reporters who covered the dropping of the bombs, an independent reporter named Wilfred Burchett and the New York Times reporter William Lawrence. After the dropping of the bombs, General MacArthur, the U.S. military, declared the whole area of southern Japan off limits. Sound familiar even today. And so most of the press went off the coast of Japan to a barge to cover the Japanese surrender. But Wilfred Burchett wanted to document, see with his own eyes, the dawn of the nuclear age. And so he took a train for 30 hours and made his way to Hiroshima. He was devastated by the devastation. Never seen anything like it. Saw people with their skin melting off, saw the
We so happy we alive, we together can survive. Stop the bullshit, stop the lies, now's the time to legalize. Tell me brother, tell me true, what the hell we gonna do? Remember the days we saw purple haze. 1 and 1 is 3. Hey, hey, baby, what you do to me? We so happy, we alive, we together can survive. Mother Nature, heaven sent, don't belong to government. Hey there sister, what's the plan? Do you really understand? Remember the days we saw purple haze. 1 and 1 is 3. Hey, hey, baby, what you do to me? We so happy, we alive, we together can survive. Stop the bullshit, stop the lies, now's the time to legalize. Half the world up in smoke, where on earth can we take the tug? Remember the days we saw purple haze. 1 and 1 is 3. Hey, hey, baby, what you do to me? Human nature, full and free, modifies reality. Open up, inner flower, peace and love, inner power. Open up, inner flower, peace and love, inner power. Remember the days we saw purple haze. 1 and 1 is 3. Hey, hey, baby, what you do to me?